There's a certain melody that slips into your mind the moment you hear it, haunting, intimate, and impossible to forget. It's been called everything from a lament to a confession, sparking rumors, controversies, and debates about who truly owns its soul. Whether you first heard it through Roberta Flack or the Fugees, Killing Me Softly has a strange hold on everyone who encounters it. But how did one quiet tune, seemingly ordinary at first glance, become an everlasting legend? Let's uncover the story behind a song that reshaped music history and stirred more than a few whispered allegations along the way. Long before Killing Me Softly became a chart-topping phenomenon, a folk singer named Lori Lieberman claimed it was her personal diary set to music. She attended a Don McLean concert in the early 1970s and allegedly poured her emotional reaction into her own lyrics. Behind the scenes, songwriter Norman Gimbel and composer Charles Fox stepped in to refine the piece, yet confusion lingers to this day over who sparked that raw, intimate language. Some say Lieberman's experience was the true core of the track. Others insist Gimbel's lyrical genius deserves full credit. No matter the origin, the song's tone was unmistakable, vulnerable, and deeply personal. Initially, it failed to capture huge attention, but that was about to change in ways no one anticipated. In a short time, it would find its way into the hands of an artist capable of turning a delicate tune into an unforgettable emotional journey. But that surprise was just around the corner. Roberta Flack was no stranger to musical intricacy, having studied classical piano and earned a spot at Howard University at just 15 years old. She was known for her ability to fuse soul, jazz, and classical elements into something uniquely hers. So when she stumbled across Killing Me Softly, it spoke to her in a way few songs ever had. Legend has it that Roberta heard it on a plane while listening to in-flight audio and was so captivated, she immediately began molding the tune into her own masterpiece. Some doubted her decision to record it. Too simple, they said, too exposed. However, Roberta trusted her instincts. She slowed the tempo, placed her signature vocal grace front and center, and transformed the track into a heartfelt confession. Within weeks of its release in 1973, her rendition soared up the charts, eventually earning multiple accolades, including a Grammy for Record of the Year. It was a pivotal moment for both the artist and the song, but also for the people who'd quietly contributed to its creation. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion, and not all of them were flattering. However, the track's meteoric rise had only begun to stir the waters. Killing Me Softly became a worldwide sensation, dominating radio airwaves and appearing on television specials, talk shows, and concert stages everywhere. To many, it seemed like an overnight triumph, but behind the scenes, a storm was brewing. Lori Lieberman's original involvement was overshadowed by Roberta's chart success, igniting whispers that Lieberman had been pushed aside. Accusations surfaced that the industry had ignored the original inspiration to profit off Roberta's star power. On top of that, rumors circulated about how quickly the track was redone. Was it a calculated business move, or was it a genuine artistic revelation? Norman Gimbel, the lyricist, stood firm that he'd shaped those words without needing Lieberman's direct input. Lori, on the other hand, implied she'd been sidelined from her own story. This back and forth quietly smoldered in the background while Roberta Flack basked in the limelight. As the 1970s turned into the 1980s, people wondered if the song would remain a soft rock relic or evolve further. Little did they know, a new twist was waiting around the corner, fueled by the energy of a rising hip-hop trio. But what happened next would rattle the entire music scene once more. By the mid-1990s, the Fugees were on a mission to blend soul, reggae, and hip-hop into a fresh new sound. Consisting of Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, and Pras Michel, the group yearned for a track that could bridge R&B smoothness with hip-hop grit. So they took on Killing Me Softly, and flipped it in a way no one anticipated. Lauryn Hill's voice drew in listeners with soulful richness that mirrored Roberta's emotional depth but added a streetwise edge. The production's hip-hop beats and reggae-inspired flourishes turned the once ballad into a crossover mega-hit. It dominated music charts around the globe and established the Fugees as major players in the industry. Alongside this success came a renewed wave of questions about the song's roots. By reintroducing it to a younger audience, the Fugees uncovered some half-buried resentments between original contributors. But from the mainstream vantage point, it was simply a classic reinvented, merging generations of listeners in a single hypnotic chorus. Still, the layers of complexity surrounding this tune had more to reveal. From its earliest days, Killing Me Softly has attracted everything from heartfelt tributes to online debate. One recurring story points to Don McLean as the performance that first moved Lori Lieberman so profoundly she had to document it. Whether this is the ultimate truth or not remains contested. Another persistent rumor involves overlooked songwriting contributions, with certain insiders claiming others provided input but never received credit. Meanwhile, Roberta Flack continued to cement her status as a music legend, collaborating with luminaries like Donny Hathaway and influencing younger artists like Alicia Keys. Even as her career blossomed, she carried the weight of this song's bittersweet controversies. Over time, countless performers have attempted their own version. Some are soulful homages, while others are complete transformations. Through it all, fans and critics have continued to dissect every verse and chord, searching for that elusive spark that makes the tune so gripping. And yet, the deeper you dig, the more questions emerge about who truly owns the emotional landscape. Perhaps that's the song's power. It isn't just a melody, but a musical Rorschach test, capturing universal feelings of awe, heartbreak, and vulnerability. And that universal appeal went on to spark inspiration in countless other artists. Decades after Roberta Flack's version topped the charts, her gentle yet commanding approach still resonates. When Alicia Keys burst onto the scene in the early 2000s, critics drew comparisons to Roberta's smooth vocal tone and classically trained piano skills. The emotional honesty in Killing Me Softly became a blueprint for emerging R&B ballads, proving that raw vulnerability could strike a chord with listeners over and over again. Many argue that without Killing Me Softly, the fusion of hip-hop with soulful vocals might not have blossomed so vibrantly. The Fugees' success proved that older classics could be reimagined to speak to an entirely different generation. Pop and R&B artists have since followed suit, revamping vintage tracks with modern twists, always searching for that perfect intersection between nostalgia and innovation. It's rare for a single tune to feel timeless across multiple decades, yet Killing Me Softly transcends genre and era, standing as a testament to how one piece of music can unify vastly different audiences. Which brings us to the heart of why this song refuses to fade. When you trace the journey of Killing Me Softly, you find a swirl of passion, disputed claims, and unshakable artistry. It began humbly, drawn from a moment of raw emotion in front of a concert stage. Roberta Flack transformed it into a confessional masterpiece that rattled the charts. Then the Fugees resurrected it again, spinning it into a hip-hop sensation that enthralled yet another wave of fans. Beneath all the excitement lie echoes of disagreements. Did Lori Lieberman truly capture its essence first, or was it Norman Gimbel's lyrical skill that carried the day? Should Roberta Flack's rendition overshadow all else, or is there enough room for everyone who gave life to this enduring classic? In truth, the controversies surrounding the song only heighten its mystique. What's certain is that something about Killing Me Softly resonates across generations. It softens hearts, stirs memories, and keeps people coming back to ask for more. As you reflect on its winding story, remember that one tune, born from a single spark of inspiration, can become an everlasting fixture in cultural memory. Perhaps that's the real secret behind this captivating melody. It speaks to a universal longing to express our deepest emotions through music, no matter how many voices claim a piece of it.